Okay, so I'm back out here at Hudson River Park. I actually wasn't going to do any of the card pulls out here because I felt like it was just for me this day and being here. But I think that I can do this for you guys because I only have it only takes about 15 minutes to do the weeklies. And maybe I don't know, I'm not going to make you any promises right now. But the card for everybody this week is devotion. So it's kind of like, what are you devoted to? What are you committed to? What are you willing to spend time with? What are you also relating to that you might, be overly devoted to? You know what I mean? It could also speak to codependency in a relationship. You might be devoted to a purpose or to someone. Or devoted to a responsibility that may not be yours, okay? And this is in general. What are you devoted to? Are you devoted to yourself or to someone else or other people? Okay, so I'm doing it on an angle so that I don't get a shadow. And Aries, your card for this week is protection. It's the moon in Aries. So the moon in Aries is really, the moon is the mother, it's the nurturer, it is the protector, and it's talking about protecting children or protecting yourself or some parts of you that are very sensitive, that might be vulnerable to others that might prey on your energy or just prey on your vulnerability or prey on your naivety, because Aries is very optimistic and sometimes it can be naive because it is the youngest sign. So this is talking about, not allowing someone to smell out your vulnerabilities, right? Because in the photo or in the image there is a tiger at the bottom, and at the top there's a mother making sure that her children are quiet so that they can maintain their safety and keep whatever inner workings going on, so that they won't be affected by the external world. Okay, Taurus, so your card for this week is escape, and this is Mars in Pisces. So this is kind of like, what are you putting energy and what are you putting focus into in terms of, what you're doing? You know what I mean? So you could be trying to escape from your own reality, and it might be the wrong choice for you. Think of positive ways to escape, like doing something creative, because Pisces is definitely a creative sign. Venus is exalted there, and when Mars is here, it's actually quite a good one. You might even be escaping with someone. You might be going to the movies with your boo, or you might be trying to, come up with ways to do things differently. It definitely is talking about going out and seeing more art, seeing more theater, getting involved creatively, nurturing, perhaps initiating something to start a project, start a creative project, Taurus, so that you come up with something in the end that you can appreciate and be proud of. Okay, Gemini, so this is your card for the week. This is speculation. You have Jupiter and Cancer. So this might be an overwhelming inspiration. You could be just really feeling intuitively. It is also talking about being aware of your psychic abilities and your intuitiveness, so much so that it might be overwhelming you, and you might just be kind of feeling very deeply. And you might even be having some alarms go off in terms of like something that you have been speculating, or someone that you might be questioning in your own head. And you may be questioning whether or not this person might be good for you, or whether or not they have your best interests. So you're kind of watching their every move, and you're making sure that they actually are going to be truthful. Cancer, what's going on with you this week? Okay, so you got Mars in Sagittarius. This is domination. This is talking about, are you letting someone dominate over you, or are you dominating over, a situation or an experience? It also is talking about your belief systems that you might have dominating over you, that might be preventing you from getting from one place to another. Sometimes we have to open ourselves up to, different things, that are unusual to us, so that we can learn something about ourselves, right? We can expand our own philosophies and our own perception of things, and it's kind of like when you learn something new, you learn something about yourself. You're also kind of like enriched, right? You elevate yourself. So you might be feeling an overwhelming feeling of wanting to do something. You might even be feeling like you're going to have to use a little bit more force and energy to get whatever it is that you want. Okay, Leo, let's see what your card is this week from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. This is Mercury in Sagittarius. Okay, so this is good. This is talking about travel, and it's also talking about obviously discovering things. Mercury is a planet that likes to ask a lot of questions, and Sagittarius is a sign that likes to find the answers to those questions. So you might be finding some answers to a lot of the questions that you might be having. You might be met with a lot of information. There might be a lot of talk going on. You might have a lot of opportunities coming your way, or there might just be a lot of things going on that make you feel like you're getting somewhere with something. You guys might even be, learning something. You might be exploring a new way of doing something or exploring something new altogether. You may have gained interest in something different, or you may have gained interest in a new culture or something special or new about a culture that you might be interested in. Virgo, this is your card this week from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. You got Endurance, which is Sun in Scorpio, and this is talking about transformation and also being very strong. You might be feeling vulnerable, or you might just be feeling like you might be at a weak point with something. This is saying that you just need to push through and continue to fight and show yourself who you really are. What are your intentions in proving to yourself that you are who you think you are, or whatever this challenge that you might be facing. I feel like the Sun in Scorpio really teaches you how to push past, all that was controlling you, and everything that you may have feared was not going to, give you what you wanted. This is also talking about getting what you want, a deep desire to transform and to kind of be the phoenix that's rising. I feel like you're looking for a brand new day. Okay, Libra, I took my sunglasses off for you. So your card that you got is Discrimination, and this is Venus in Virgo. So this is really good. This is talking about making those appropriate choices for yourself that are going to bring about more pleasure for you. You know what I mean? Venus is a very receptive planet, and sometimes if she opens herself up too much to people, then she experiences things that she may have been better off not experiencing. Now, there is some level of karma to these experiences because, there is some level of karma to these experiences. But it's also talking about health-wise being discriminative, and also, practicing healthy habits and allowing yourself to be discriminative with time and how you process things, being smart about delegation, and also being a good planner, and being more motivated and more disciplined, okay? So I feel like we all could be better at doing that. Scorpio. Ooh, haha, you got your card. You got Mars in Scorpio, which is talking about revenge. Look at that. That's intense, Scorpio. So what's going on with you? You might want to be seeking revenge on someone, or you might want to get back at somebody for something. You may not even want to do anything to them. You might just be wanting to do something for yourself. And you feel like this thing that you do for yourself might actually spark some interest from someone else. And they may become, mentally involved in whatever it is that you do out of revenge that might affect them. You want to show someone what it is that they've done, or you want to show someone, give someone a taste of their own medicine. I feel like that's something that you want to do. Some of you might be seeking revenge for the wrong reasons, okay? So just realize what it is that you want and don't make it about what someone else has. Okay, Sagittarius. Scorpio is real deep. You got Practicality, which is Moon in Capricorn, and that's where the moon is today because we're having a full moon. This is kind of amazing for you, Sag. Okay, look at that. Practicality. So this moon is actually in your second house of earned income and money. So you could be being a little bit more practical about your money. You might be making some really big choices in terms of how you want to spend or save your money, and whatever it is that you might be wanting to build for your own security, emotionally and financially. You're looking for more stability, and you're willing to do the work over time, right? You're willing to allow the evolution to occur so that you can see what it is that all of the work is done for, and there's a basic fundamental way to achieve things, right? If you practice healthy habits and you do the work, and it's definitely not being held back. Capricorn. You got Mercury in Pisces. Inspiration. This is creative inspiration. And it's Mercury is actually debilitated in Pisces, and this is where the last Mercury retrograde was, Capricorn. So maybe 4 months ago, what was going on? What were you doing? How is it different now than it was then? And how are you newly inspired? How are you divinely inspired? What is it that you would like to manifest that creatively, that you've been dreaming about? What is it that you've been wanting to see occur in your life that you feel like you can make happen? What have you been sacrificing that's been getting in the way of actually... Hi! Okay, Sag, I'm sorry. I saw somebody that I knew, and yeah. That was weird because it's a, full moons and eclipses. I probably have moldavite in my bag. I do. Anyway, I'm going on and on and on. I'm going to continue with yours, and I'll just give you like 3 minutes perhaps, since it was interrupted. But, it's inspiration. It's talking about, are you being inspired by what it is that you feel like you would like to express creatively? I feel like we all have these channels of creativity that we need to travel down sometimes, so that we can detach just for a moment from our own reality. Pisces is talking about escapism, and sometimes you do need to escape so that you can, be more creative, you know what I mean? It's like how artists come up with many different ways of showing their art form, how when writers have writer's block or things like that. It is also kind of like doing drugs and things like mushrooms and dropping acid and stuff like that, so that you can come up with, creative ways to show people things that maybe they wouldn't have looked at in a certain way if you weren't there to present it to them in whatever shape or form that you were. So this could be involved with dance, it could be involved with poetry, it could be movement, it could be anything, you know what I mean? But it is talking about you not being too emotionally complacent and doing something with that energy, right? I think that would be very important for you. Also, get some sleep. Bring your mind to a resting point. Give your mind some time to breathe. Take a step back for you when you need to. Aquarius. Let's see where your card is this week. You got Mercury in Capricorn, so this is pretty good. This is organization, and it's talking about not being distracted, putting your mind to work, putting your mind at focus, right? And actually doing the work that needs to be done, not being distracted by the work, being able to just put things in order, to be very efficient, and to really make things happen. It's also talking about, being inspired to be a leader, perhaps, and put things in their place. It's almost kind of like you're harvesting things for the future. It could be your money, and it could just be like how you're going to build more finances, or just come up with ways to reach your goal. Pisces. Oh wow, you got Moon in Pisces. This is talking about empathy, so I feel like you maybe want some empathy, or maybe you need to show yourself a little bit more empathy. Pisces is kind of known for beating up on themselves a lot, and the Moon is also known for being sensitive. Like the Moon is sensitive and Pisces is sensitive, so you might be overly sensitive, right? Look at this beautiful picture with the dog, the painting. I feel like you also need to be listening to your intuition a little bit more. Listen to your gut initially and what it's telling you. Don't say, I should have listened to my gut in hindsight, when you already know that you were probably submitting to something, or maybe you were making a sacrifice, or you could have been surrendering to something, and you knew that you would have been, and you knew that you would have been emotionally reactive to it. So if you're sensing something, I feel like you should go with those feelings now. Start doing that, okay? Be you.